7 Americans. Same country, same currency, completely different lives. This is what your life actually looks like at every income level in America, from $18,000 a year to $2 million and beyond. Level 1, $18,000 a year. You work 40 hours a week and you still can't afford your own apartment. You live with 2 roommates in a unit built for 2 people, not 3. Your paycheck lands every other Friday and it's gone by Monday. Rent eats 60% of what you make. That's not a complaint, that's the math. The federal poverty line for one person is about $16,000, so you're barely above it, and barely doesn't feel like anything at all. You qualify for food assistance, but you're too proud to apply. You keep the application saved in a browser tab you never submit. Your pride costs you groceries some weeks. You tell yourself next month will be different. You drive a car with 190,000 miles on it. You pray every time you turn the key. A flat tire is not an inconvenience, it's a financial emergency. You have $340 in savings. You call it your buffer. You work a second job on weekends. Delivery driving, mostly. You tell yourself this is temporary. You've told yourself that for 3 years. Sometimes you skip meals so your kid doesn't have to. Nobody at your job knows that. You are one of tens of millions of Americans living below or near the poverty line. The system calls this a statistic. You call it Tuesday. You go to sleep exhausted and wake up already behind. Birthdays get quiet at this level. Gifts turn into cards with a little cash inside, if there's any cash to spare. You get good at saying I'm fine in a way that ends the conversation before anyone asks a second question. Level 2, $35,000 a year. You climbed out of survival mode. Barely. You have your own place now. A small 1-bedroom in a part of town nobody brags about. You budget in a notebook because the apps make you anxious. You have a credit card with a balance you're chipping away at. You've stopped ordering delivery. You cook rice and beans 4 nights a week and you've gotten weirdly good at it. Your phone screen is cracked and has been for a year. A $600 car repair sets you back 2 months. You don't have a savings account that could absorb it without panic. You work overtime whenever it's offered, even when your body begs you not to take it. You still check your bank balance before buying coffee. You still feel a flash of shame at the register sometimes. But you're not drowning anymore. You're treading water, and some days that feels like winning. You're close to the national minimum wage floor multiplied out to a full year, still well under the median. You know exactly how far $35,000 goes because you've had to learn it the hard way. You started a side hustle last spring, something small, selling things online after work. It doesn't change your life yet, but it's the first time in years you've felt like you're building instead of just surviving. Level 3, $65,000 a year. You're closing in on the middle. You have a real job now. Benefits included, a 401k you barely understand but contribute to anyway because a coworker told you to. You moved into a 2-bedroom. You have a roommate still, but by choice this time, not necessity. You go out to dinner on weekends without doing math in your head first. You bought a used car that isn't falling apart. You have $4,000 saved. It sits there quietly and you check it more than you'd admit. You're not rich. You're not struggling. You're the invisible middle nobody makes content about. The ones just getting by comfortably enough to stop panicking. You still think twice about a big purchase. A vacation means a spreadsheet first. But the fear is gone. What's left is planning. That distinction changes everything about how you sleep at night. You're still under the national median household income of roughly $8,000 to $4,000. You don't feel poor anymore. You also don't feel like the middle class you were promised growing up. You started dating someone seriously this year. For the first time, money isn't the main character of every conversation. That shift feels bigger than any raise you've gotten so far. Level 4, $9,000 to $5,000 a year. You crossed into what people call comfortable. You bought a house, or you're a year from qualifying for one. You have an emergency fund that could survive a real emergency. You upgraded your car without financing it into oblivion. You take one real vacation a year, somewhere with a beach or mountains, and you don't check your bank balance the whole time you're there. Your retirement account has a real number in it now, something with commas that used to feel impossible. You still work full-time. You still answer emails at odd hours. Comfort didn't buy back your time, just your peace of mind. Friends ask you for advice now. You give it carefully, aware that $9,000 to $5,000 still isn't rich. It's just no longer terrifying. That gap between rich and not terrified is wider than most people assume. You started saving for your kid's college fund this year. Small monthly deposits into an account you check with quiet pride. It's not much yet, but it's there, growing, and that alone feels like a small miracle. You're right around the national median, give or take. Half the country makes less than you. The other half makes you feel like you're still catching up. Both things are true at once. Level 5, 180,000 a year. You are what economists call a hyena, not rich, the Henry category. Your household hits six figures individually or through two incomes stacked together. You own a nicer home in a good school district. Property taxes alone cost more than your entire rent used to. You max out your 401k. You have a financial advisor you actually listen to. You still feel behind the people around you. That's the trick of this bracket. Everyone around you earns similarly, so you never feel wealthy, only adequate. You fly business class occasionally. You hire someone to clean the house every other week. You still stress about college costs for your kids. You are, statistically, near the top 10% of American households, a threshold that sits around $250,000 for the full 1% bracket. You're close, but the number keeps moving further away. You golf on Saturdays now, or you tell yourself you will once things calm down. They never quite calm down. Comfort at this level comes with a longer to-do list, not a shorter one. You quietly compare yourself to a coworker who earns roughly the same and still seems to have more. You don't know his mortgage, his debt, his story. Comparison is the tax nobody at this level ever stops paying. Level 6, 450,000 a year. You crossed into the top 1% of individual owners in America. You are, by definition, wealthy now. You own your home outright or close to it. Money stopped being a source of daily anxiety years ago. You have a team now, an accountant, a financial planner, maybe a lawyer on retainer. You think in terms of tax strategy, not grocery budgets. Your kids will graduate college with zero debt, a fact you don't say out loud at parties. You travel internationally without checking exchange rates first. You own investment property. You give money to causes you believe in, quietly, without posting about it. Most people you grew up with have no idea what your life actually looks like now. The isolation creeps in slowly. Old friends stop inviting you places, assuming you're too busy or too rich for it. You're neither. You're just further away on a graph most people never see. You are one of roughly 1.5 million households in this bracket nationwide. It is a small, quiet room. Most people you will ever meet will never stand inside it. You hire a full-time house manager this year. Someone who runs your household the way you once ran your own errands. Delegating your life feels strange at first. Then it starts to feel like the only way to survive the calendar. Level 7, 2 million a year and beyond. You are in the top 0.1%. The rules that governed every level before this one simply don't apply anymore. You don't budget. You allocate. Your money doesn't sit in a bank account. It sits in a portfolio managed by people you rarely speak to directly. You own multiple properties across different states or countries. A bad year for you still nets more than most people earn in a decade. You worry less about earning and more about preserving. Estate planning, trusts, generational wealth structures built to survive you by 50 years. Your accountant has an entire team, not just a person. Your last name starts to mean something beyond you. People treat you differently the moment they learn what you're worth. Some get warmer. Some get strange. You've learned to notice the shift immediately. And you've learned it's rarely about you as a person. Your children will grow up never once wondering if the lights will stay on. That single fact separates their entire childhood from level 1, where the light staying on was never something to take for granted. You think, sometimes, about the version of yourself from level 1, the one counting $340 like it was a fortune. You wonder if you'd even recognize the life you're living now. 7 levels, 1 country, 1 currency. The gap between level 1 and level 7 isn't just money. It's how safe you feel closing your eyes at night. It's whether an emergency is a headline or Tuesday. Same nation, 7 completely different lives.